Won't you celebrate with me what I have shaped into a kind of life? I had no model. Born in Babylon, both non-white and woman, what did I see to be except myself? I made it up. Here on this bridge between starshine and clay, my one hand holding tight my other hand. Come celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed. The poet's name is Lucille Clifton, a Black woman genius who joined the great cloud of witnesses with my other ancestors in 2010. I know she had wild and rebellious dreams. How do I know this? Her poetry tells me so. The raw materials of her incarnation were offensive to whiteness, to maleness, to Americanness. So she writes that she took her own stuff, her own body, her own mind, her own heart, her own spirit, and she made a life with it. She says, I made it up. She imagined herself into being. And what she created could not be destroyed. She said, every day something has tried to kill me and has failed. What a powerful teacher Lucille Clifton is to me. My name is Naomi Washington Leapheart, and I'm the Faith Work Director at the National LGBTQ Task Force. And I think Lucille can be a powerful teacher to us because every day it seems something is trying to kill us. We're gathered here today and this weekend to figure out how we will survive this latest attack on our lives. Embedded into our present political environment is a well-coordinated, well-resourced attack on our ability to keep our bodies healthy, our ability to create family, our ability to simply be in public spaces without apology or surveillance. And that's enough to drive us to dejection, I admit. And there's another layer to this attack. It also targets our most prized possession, our imagination. This is actually my deepest concern, that anti-LGBTQ theologies and ideologies and practices have ruined our imagination. Our hopes have been stunted. We dream low-risk dreams. We believe, but only in puny possibilities. We became timid because our boldness was mocked. We suffocate under the weight of our low expectations. We tempered our anger, our righteous indignation with refrains of, it gets better. We aimed for marriage, convinced that maybe poverty and homelessness among LGBTQ youth and trans communities were just too far outside our actual grasp. We got excited when a few folks got starring roles on mainstream TV. We forgot that so many Black and brown and Native queer bodies remain invisible. To build a movement that was palatable, we stood by while people were discarded and cut out and cut off because they were not respectable enough, because they had the nerve to say, all the queer folk are not white. All the queer folk are not cisgender men. all the queer folk do not fit into the middle class box. They had the nerve to say, you think you know queer life when you see it. But some of us are brave. We have skin that has been kissed by the sun. We speak all languages. We have a variety of bodies and abilities. We are undocumented. And we demand LGBTQ justice, and we have no desire to be respectable. I am sad to admit that I think we have been careless with our imagination. And if we continue to be careless, we will be undone. Our adversaries already don't imagine LGBTQ people in their dreams of a free and flourishing world. They suffer from a chronic lack of imagination. And they covet, they envy, they want our imagination, because if they can get it, they can control our reality. If they can get our imagination, even before a bill is passed, even before our rights get stolen, they completely erase us. Because without an imagination, we will cease to exist, not just to them, but to our own selves. We will start to believe the lie that we are not worth much more than small change, chump change. We will start to believe the lie that we are maybe asking for too much, that we're too angry, we're too radical. We will believe the lie that our love is unnatural, that our bodies are abominable, that our lives are expendable. These are lies. As a Black queer woman minister within the Christian tradition, as the faith work director at the task force, I am particularly angry. I'm offended because our imaginations are getting preempted and co-opted under the pretense of faith. Our political adversaries have used the imaginative nature of faith to reshape attitudes about LGBTQ people. Because if you can claim that God dreamed up a world where LGBTQ people do not matter, then you can co-opt the dreams of people who think they're following God by rejecting LGBTQ people. But I'm here to tell you that all of that is actually a perversion of faith. I believe that faith is the confidence in what we hope for. Faith is the proof of what we do not see. Some of us live faith through religion, some through spirituality. Some of us find hope in humanist and non-theistic traditions. Some of us cherish the mystery of agnosticism. We are all vulnerable, no matter how we get to faith and hope. We all face the threat of exploited dreams. We can't let nobody use our imagination against us. If we're going to defeat our adversaries, we must refuse to submit our collective imagination to those who mean to kill us every day. It's time for us to recover imagination as a critical tool of creating change. That's what the task force is doing through our faith organizing. We're saying that to counter the harm done to LGBTQ people in the name of faith, we must first overhaul the way we imagine ourselves, the way we imagine the world. New imagination means our coalitions will actually last longer. New imagination means our policy agendas will be bolder and more radical. New imagination means we don't trade death by empire for death by burnout. How many people don't want to die by burnout? We want to actually live to see the day of our freedom. Lucille Clifton could defeat death because she chose to exist. She chose to dream up a life for herself. She defiantly chose to make the world around her. I want to know, do you take imaginative risks? Or is your imagination at risk? Do you have wild and rebellious dreams? That's not a rhetorical question, y'all. This political moment requires us to imagine again and again. We're not going to win by magic. We're not going to win by violence. We're not going to win because we're respectable. We will win because we proactively construct a new world that first we created in our imagination. So how then do we recover our imagination? How do we make it rebellious? When I finished seminary, I decided I could not bring myself to read another book. I was exhausted by reading. I was tired of asking questions I could never answer with the books. I was tired of waiting on some salvation to come. But since I'm my mama's child, I feel guilty if I don't carry a book everywhere I go. And so I decided if I was going to read something, I would read comic books and graphic novels and science fiction. And let me tell you, what I've discovered is that this new practice has stoked my imaginative fire. I can imagine myself bulletproof, like Luke Cage. I ain't got time to die. I can dream of organizing a movement that can adapt even when a presidential circus has come to town, like Lauren did in Octavia Butler's Earthseed books. We gotta be intentional about protecting and preserving our imagination. We must work to unbind it from other people's possession. We must give it the food it needs to grow. This is a spiritual practice, and this is a political practice. You are worthy, my dear friends, of a wild, rebellious, risky imagination. You were born with it. So if you know that this is true, that you're worthy of a rebellious imagination, then say this after me in whatever language you choose. I will not surrender my imagination. Oh, no. If you really know that you're worthy of a wild and rebellious imagination, then shout in whatever language you choose, I will not surrender my imagination. We have all we need to resist this government that's going to corrode our imagination at every turn. So let's get rebellious with it. Let's get radical with it. Let's get risky with it. What will you do to take back your imagination? Will you join me in imagining yourself into being? When people look at me crazy, when I introduce my wife and daughter from the pulpit before I preach, I say to myself, well, despite whatever you thought, we are possible. When people don't understand how we still experience joy when the empire keeps striking back, we just say, whatever you thought, we are possible. So let's be stubborn. Let's refuse to accept any contradiction between our everyday life and our wildest dreams. Lucille Clifton, my ancestor, that black woman genius, wrote another poem I like. The poem is called, Why People Be Mad at Me Sometimes. This is the poem. They ask me to remember what they want me, but they want me to remember their memories. But I keep on remembering mine. Let's defiantly dream up a world together. May it be so. Ashe.